Gonna cry?
That's my favorite one.
So, guys, mine also tied to the conversation from Dan a little bit, and my conversation I want to discuss tonight is, what is your favorite video game console yet released, and why? And we're not counting like PCs, okay? That is counted out. I'm talking about actual consoles.
You said consoles.
I know, but I'm clarifying, okay? Because some people have built small PCs and called them consoles before, and some people call like modern Xboxes consoles. Incorrect. We're considering those consoles. Okay?
Just consoles.
So you said I couldn't say the Samsung fridge.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
I got mine.
So.
Can I just take a guess on what all of yours would be?
All right, shoot.
Because I know Logan's.
I already said it, though, so you probably heard mine.
I didn't hear yours. As I knew for a fact Logan's would be GameCube. Yours, I'm going to say, is the OG Xbox.
360.
Oh, the 360. Okay. Yeah. And then yours is going to be Super Nintendo.
Okay.
That's my guess.
What's
I would
mine?
probably say Super Nintendo.
PlayStation 4? You don't play games.
That's true.
I would say 360 probably.
Your mobile phone?
I mean, probably. But I'd probably say 360 if I had to choose one.
Okay, that's
a
fair.
solid one.
I think it's the best console ever made.
That's good.
It was very sleek and just worked really well for its time, you know, when it came out.
And I think of Doritos.
Fantastic controller, very
Mountain Dew.
smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And it had some of the best series of games to ever come out at the time.
Yeah.
So I think it was just
That's
number
fair.
one ever.
The 360 is great. It's very nostalgic for me too because it's my first console I ever played.
Really?
Yeah.
God, you're
Really?
Yeah.
You played that before you played GameCube and stuff?
Yes. Well.
What?
Yeah. So.
Where have you been?
Well, the thing is, I grew
Not
up
born.
in the GameCube era, but my family was never super well off, so I didn't ever have a game console myself. And my dad
saved up so much.
My dad got a 360 from the youth pastor at a church. They had one for the church, and they were going to sell it because they didn't really use it.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's like, well, I'll just take it. And he's like, yeah, go for it. So that's how we got a 360. And it was funny because there was a few games that came with it. The first game I ever played was Sonic 06, which is not a good game to play at all, especially for your first time playing a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I played it, and I was like, that's not bad. And then I ended up getting Call of Duty and all that stuff with my friends, and that was awesome. But yeah, I love the 360. Question: did you ever do the Red Ring of Death? Because we actually
multiple times.
I'd say we actually.
It's an easy fix.
Mine has never had the Red Ring of Death.
It's a really easy
the first
fix.
time.
Mine.
Not even after. I fixed mine 2 or 3 times.
Ours did it, and
I sent mine in and got a free one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we did too.
Many times.
I've never had that issue.
Dang. Yeah, so ours did that, and then we were a month without it.
I sent mine in and got it back, and immediately when I turned it on, I got another red ring.
Oh no!
That's funny.
That's not good.
I was like, that was during a Halo tournament too. I was very sad.
Oh, see.
Good old LAN parties. That made me think.
Well,
of
that's
that.
what I was gonna say. I think some of my fondest memories ever were from the 360s. I'm almost tempted to say
That's
that.
when I spent most of my time gaming with my buddies back in high
Yeah,
school
see
stuff,
that
so.
it was just always so much fun. There's so many fond memories of it. But even to this day, I don't go back and I don't go back now and play 360 games, really. But I will go back and play N64 games.
Yeah.
Those are just so classic. There's so many memories I have growing up. Playing Mario Party with my cousins, playing Mario Kart with my dad. Playing Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong, all these different games on the N64. I think that's the one growing up as a young kid that I had the most fun with, and I just have so many memories of that I almost have to say the Nintendo 64. But once you get in middle school, high school, it'd be the 360, and so they're two different parts of your life,
Sure.
So it's really kind of hard. What one's better for me is do I go off of the one from my childhood? Or
Pick one.
That's what I'm
Just
trying to do.
pick one.
Weston?
Just do it, Jordan.
Shut up.
You can
Weston.
only have one.
You can only have
I was
one.
gonna
There
say,
can
I
only
kinda
be
had,
one.
a definite transition. I was
One
Xbox 360 in
console
high
ruled them
school,
all.
then PS4 in college.
So I'm going to say probably the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
Because
okay.
like I said, I don't go back and play games from the 360.
Yeah.
But
I do.
I do go back
I don't have my
and
360
play
anymore.
games from the Nintendo 64.
Well, outside of multiplayer back in the day, if you guys wanted to LAN party, link up a couple Xboxes and play Halo 2 or 3, I would still do that in a heartbeat because it's fantastic.
Oh, I mean, I would too.
But outside of that, I went back and played before Legendary Collection came out. I played all the Mass Effect games. I played all of the Dragon Age games.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the cool single player RPGs back in the day. Like I play them all the time. I still do that. But just like all around memories from friends, everything like that. Game selection that came out, like some of my favorites ever, and just how everything kind of worked. I think it's the 360 is the best controller ever made.
I like it.
I would definitely agree with that.
Just, all around, I think that's it. You know, for me.
See, and I would have to agree because I remember one of my best gaming memories ever was there was a lock-in. I don't even know if you would know what church I'm talking about because it wasn't like the building didn't look like a church. It was
Calvary.
Did you go with John?
No.
Oh.
No, it was across the street from Hardee's, and like they had like that
Yours was
used car
fantastic.
lot. You know, like when that used car lot. I think it's where.
Are you thinking Crossroads?
No, there was one. You know that they just tore it down recently. That building that was across the street. There was like a church in the upstairs. Like it wasn't a churchy building, but there was a church there. Anyways,
Are you talking in Esterville?
yes.
The only two things that's gotten torn down by Hardee's were a really crappy apartment building and like a AC, like old Comfort Tech building.
Okay, maybe it didn't get torn down then. I haven't been down that way in a while.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's probably Crossroads, but
I'm assuming it was.
No, it's that brick building to the. I guess it'd be just to the west. Just to the west of Hardee's. So like that brick building. You walk out the door, you'd be looking right at it.
Have you been to Esterville recently? Because that's Quick Star now.
Yeah, where Quick Start is.
There's a church up there?
There used to be.
That wasn't a church. That was like
No,
an auto place.
in the upstairs part though, there was. Trust me, because they.
Should we trust you?
Yes. There was a lock in there one time.
One person who hasn't lived there.
It was.
Well,
I
consider
mean, they
the
might
fact-
have rented it or something, maybe,
Well,
but
that's
it
what I'm
wasn't
saying.
a church.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like a church building, but they had a church there. You know, like that's where the church met. But anyways, we're getting
I don't
off the
think
topic
they might
now.
have rented it
It's
for a
it's
night.
probably just some random
Yeah.
drug addict saying he's a youth pastor that's like, hey,
No,
you guys,
'cause-
kids want to come stay
Sorry,
at
back
my
to
house.
Weston's topic.
No, so this is part of it though. So
Is it though?
yes, I was saying one of my fondest memories. We had like 8 Xbox
Fondest
360s hooked up there. We all brought our 360s and a TV, and we played Halo LAN party like almost all night. They had
That was
they had one TV that had I think they
every
were
weekend
playing
for me.
I think they were playing like Resident Evil 4 or something like whatever came out around that time.
It's been-
And
Maybe.
then there was another TV they had Rock Band hooked up to, and then there was
Garbage.
the rest of us had Halo 3, and we were playing LAN parties. It was so much fun.
Okay.
So that's like one of my, so that's why like 360 I think would be so high up. But I would
Did you answer
almost
yours,
top
Weston?
it with this.
I was kind of letting you guys kind of go, but for mine,
No, you need to stop Jordan before he gets going.
I mean, I probably should, but my
He'll go on
favorite
forever.
really isn't a surprise. It was actually the Super Nintendo.
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, my very first
Call it.
console I ever played on, and it's also the only one I had for a couple of years.
It's my
Love
first
it.
one
I
for me,
still
too.
go back. I still play whenever I can.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the Xbox 360, but I just don't have as many memories on it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And if there was a console that I had a lot of memories on, it would definitely be the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
The second most for me, though, would probably be my PS2 back in the day.
PlayStation 1 would be my second.
So
I played all the old school Final
You see-
Fantasies, dude.
I had one of those old PSXs, but it died after a short time when I had it.
Mm-hmm.
And so my brother replaced it with a PlayStation 2, and I had that for so long.
Yeah.
And for, oh gosh, it wasn't until I was actually in high school that he finally got me that Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
So most
you
of
got
my
that
life
late.
was just, yeah, I got it way later, and that's why I don't have as many memories with it.
I never had a PlayStation 2.
So,
The first PlayStation I ever owned was when I finally bought my own console, which was PS4, and
Mm-hmm.
that was like
I had a
every-
PS1, and then PS4 was the next PlayStation
Yeah.
I got.
so
I definitely agree. Like, I think if I was probably a bit older and like actually had an SNES growing up, I would say the same thing. Because like I look back at it, and it's got some of my favorite games of all time.
mhm.
Super Metroid,
He called us old.
Link to the Past.
I am old. What are you talking about?
Earthbound's my favorite game of all time. Like, so many classics are on that system, and I
Mhm.
love it.
Super Mario All
Super Mar-
Stars.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Super Mario
All three of
World.
them.
I actually never had a Super Nintendo.
Really?
No, we
You
went.
missed out, man.
We
I
went.
figured that kind of
well,
be your game
NES
series there.
We went NES to Nintendo 64. we never had a Super Nintendo. My cousins did, so I'd play it when I went to my cousin's house.
That's
and
why you're not an RPG
I
guy.
remember a few games from that.
SNES was my first console too. A Link to the Past,
Mm-hmm.
Such a good game.
My very first video game.
right? That was mine too.
Speaking of which,
But really, my
these-
brother played that mostly, and I was too young to play it for the most part, and I watched a lot. So I have really fond memories, but like I didn't play it that much, you know.
Mhm.
So that's why it's probably not up there closer for me.
Speaking of
Mhm.
Link to the Past, at some point for the Friday retro game nights and like the retro playthroughs that we're
Mhm.
doing, I want to play the first few Zelda games because I've never played those before. So
I will come and join you, and I can laugh at you as you make all the really dumb mistakes, and I can point you to where the good things are. Like I can teach you where the blue ring is in the original and how to get a lot of the
because
stuff
I
early.
want to play like the first few Zelda games, and I want to.
I can also laugh as you die miserably thousands of
Yes.
times trying to go through Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
And the first one. The
No,
first-
the second one he's going to die miserably so
Yeah.
many times. And I'm going to laugh really hard when he finally beats Ganon and then he gets crushed. So,
Have fun in the water dungeon.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, I think it's gonna be kind of fun. But
Yeah.
that's
So-
one of these Fridays because I think Logan and I right now we're playing through Donkey Kong 64,
Mhm.
and then I'm kind of torn if like we just continue with some rare games and we play like Conker's Bad Fur Day and Banjo Kazooie and stuff like that. But at some point, I definitely want to go back and play the original Zelda because I mean we have it on the Switch for like the
Mhm.
virtual console thing or whatever,
mm-hmm.
or I have an NES with the actual versions of the game I bought at the used game store with all intention to play it on stream sometime. Haven't gotten around to it yet. So I have the first two Zelda games or whatever for that.
Yeah. I feel like we could talk about this later, like off stream.
Yeah, I
think-
would
think
agree
we
on
should
that.
Probably get back on
We should
topic
probably
here.
keep moving
I
here.
just want to play Final Fantasy VIII.
But so
Weston.
when it comes to me, yeah, Jordan nailed it on the head. Mine's GameCube, which is kind of odd because, like I said, I didn't really grow up with one. But my best friend growing up, Tyler, when I first moved here, he had a Wii and a GameCube, and I'd go to his house almost every day after school,
Mhm.
and we play GameCube games, Wii games, whatever. And so I finally caved and I bought, when I was in Des Moines one weekend, I bought a GameCube for like $40 and got Metroid Prime with it. And so I started playing that. I was like, oh, this is like an awesome I love the controller. It's one of my favorite controllers. I love the feel of a GameCube
It's
controller.
such a weird
It is so
controller.
weird.
It
but I
feels
do like
so
it.
good.
But
in your
it's
hand,
it's
though. Like,
actually really
so
comfortable to work
yes,
with.
It is,
very
yeah,
comfortable.
extremely.
And so, and then like the more I look at it, it's got some of my favorite games as well. Like
Smash.
Smash Brothers, Melee is awesome. Wind Waker's one
that
of
was
my
one of
favorite
the
Zelda
phenomenal
games.
ones.
Twilight Princess is great as well. You have what else? Sunshine, the Pokemon games, XD and Coliseum. I love both of those. Like,
Coliseum was so fun.
yeah, they're and so like, while I didn't get into GameCube until later in my life, and even now I still don't have a ton of GameCube games, but I'm trying to build my collection. Like, one of the things I'm very happy about is, before this kind of surge of GameCube games kind of going up in price, I ended up getting a hold of both Coliseum and XD. So I have both of those. Really, the only games I don't have right now that I want are like the Zelda games. But like I ended up getting Luigi's Mansion, Sunshine.
Sunshine's cool.
I just recently picked up like last week Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4
GameCube. It's so
because-
weird.
because I wanted to play some Tony Hawk games, and I was like, this one's $10 at this game store. Let me pick it
Get
up.
American Wasteland.
know?
That's the best one.
One of my favorite
Well,
Fire
they
Emblem
remade
games
one
was on
too,
the GameCube, The
just
Path of
recently
Radiance.
for
Yes.
new stuff.
That was
I
actually
haven't bought
like
it
a
yet.
lot of people hate on
Do
it.
you have that?
Yeah, I do. You want to play it? I can lend it to you.
Well, I was gonna say I would love to play it, but like, do you see how much that game goes for now? It's insane. That one's a big seller right now. Because I mean, obviously GameCube is spiked because a lot of the people that are started for games are GameCube people, but like that one, the prices for that game went up so high.
Good
No,
to
I would
know.
love to
I
play
actually
it.
didn't
Is,
follow through on that.
Are they as
So.
high as a Game Boy player?
Higher.
I
think
also have the
it's-
Game Boy player for my GameCube.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the disc?
Yeah, I have the entire setup.
Can I borrow that sometime for stream? We can play like Emerald and stuff on stream.
I mean,
I
sure,
played
we just
my
need to
blue
dust off
version
the
on
old
that with
GameCube, and
my
that's
buddies.
it. It's all on there. It's still attached.
You don't have a GameCube though, do you?
No, my dog
I have
played
my
on it.
entire setup still together.
Yeah, I have my GameCube. I need to set up. But
That was the
I've been
best.
honestly, like, legitimately.
Playing like blue.
The Game Boy Player is one of the things I've been hunting for
I mean,
the longest time.
It's because of that I actually got around to sitting and playing like the Minish Cap. I played. I also played some of the Pokemon games on there. It got me to get back into those and stuff like that.
I think
Just because I could play them on the big screen from my couch and I could get a great view of it.
The GBA is honestly an honorable mention for me. Like, I know we're probably just talking about home consoles, but like that is one of my
handheld
top
consoles is a different
Yeah.
discussion in my opinion.
But
so.
yeah, but because like that is like honestly like that's where I first played Pokemon. I played Sapphire, and like it's fun.
Unfast.
I played. I did not understand Pokemon yet at all, obviously because it's my first time. So I literally only used my starter. Like I didn't realize you could catch Pokemon. I don't know why that didn't cross.
Gotta catch them all.
So I
What are these ball things? I keep getting a bunch of them.
Yeah, so I literally like just went through the game. I soloed it with Swampert, and so like I'm like,
I mean, who hasn't done that like the first time they ever played those?
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
Use your starter and solo through it.
Exactly.
That's what I did.
That's what I did.
Exactly, and so like I
Level 100
remember
Blastoise, baby.
my file was actually still intact. My buddy Tyler has that copy of Sapphire now, and that Swampert is still in that game, which is awesome. He was like level 70 before the third gym or something. It was like super ridiculous. I'm like, why is he like so powerful? And I'm like so much better than everybody.
One shot
It's
kill
because
everything.
I didn't realize you could have multiple Pokemon.
I just love the fact that their catchphrase is "Gotta catch them all." And Logan's like, "Nope, one Pokemon all the way, not doing anything else."
Hey, Logan, it's all right.
Gotta destroy them all.
It's all right.
We've been there.
We've all had those
Yeah.
moments
But
in
yeah,
games.
so
So
there's just a lot of memories for mine. And like that was the first time I played Super Mario World because I had the Super Mario Advanced, and I love that game. Like that's my favorite Mario game, and just being able to play that handheld was awesome on trips and stuff. So
Yeah, I think the Game Boy Advance would be up there for me as well.
but that's a different discussion. We'll get into that another
I mean, technically,
time.
it's still a console.
It's a handheld though.
It's a handheld.
Console.
Weston controls the discussion. It's his topic.
this,
true.
That'll be another conversation we'll have in the future. Is your favorite handheld
this
console?
is true.
Okay, I do have that in my list to discuss.
Would you consider Switch a handheld console?
Actually, I do have that classified as that. So
So you don't consider
would
it a home console?
it is made to go on the go.
It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid.
So personally, that's actually how I consider it. As I play just as much handheld because usually if I'm playing the Switch, I have it on the go,
I never do.
and I
That's
get
like
that
the
some
only
don't.
time I play it.
I honestly don't remember the last time I took my Switch out of the dock, except for like my flight to California and played it when it wasn't.
I play about 50-50.
When I go on vacation,
That doesn't
I
count,
take it.
Tim.
I took it out.
Uh,
And I messed it up.
Yeah, I play about.
Because there's nothing I really want to play on it. To be honest, that's like the least used console ever for me is my Switch. I'm
See, that's
waiting,
my
I'm
most
waiting
used.
for Diamond and Pearl remake. That's about it. I'll play those a lot.
You
but
should just get the Final Fantasy games and play those again on Switch. I like.
I've played
That's.
them on a lot of things already.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly like use my Switch to its fullest potential.
Here's the thing though, if Switch had achievements, I would be their hand.
Yeah, I
They
agree.
don't.
Yeah.
They need
There's
to have
no
something.
reason that I want. Like that makes me want to play those games
Yes.
again.
Yep.
Because it shows my record of what I'm doing, my effort given and stuff. I can accomplish something instead of just beating the game again.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wish they had an
They're-
achievement system.
Dropping the ball hardcore on that.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Nintendo. Come on.
Suck.
But
Kind of love you still.
no, I literally like I use my Switch like exactly like 50-50. Like I'll sometimes even be in my room where my TV setup is, and I'll still play handheld just because like I feel like laying down.
Sure.
You know.
I love one of my favorite things is when I was on right before I moved. I went to my aunt and uncle's in Alabama, and they have a really nice backyard and pool, and they had this like really nice like outdoor patio set up, and I just played Final Fantasy VIII the whole time, just in that patio, like super, just chill, like
Fantastic.
very like it was like perfect temperature, and so I'd play Final Fantasy VIII for a bit, like an hour or so, then I hop in the pool for a little bit, get out, dry off, play some more Final Fantasy VIII, and like
He has a
this was
Switch
awesome.
tan line.
It's
I
got
know.
those little floaties. It just floats.
Yeah. But no, I would consider that more of a handheld,
Yeah.
and I figured we were going to discuss that at a later date.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so before we
Handheld
discuss
would be
too
too
much
much.
today, let's.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're probably running good for time as it
We are.
is.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. It's already 8:20. So.